What's up guys, welcome back to Kev's World. In this week's episode, I'll be talking about studying abroad. That magical moment when you're a fresh student going overseas into a faraway land and you come back really inspired. I will be sharing with you my experiences when I went over to Melbourne and also little tips that you might want to know before you go and while you're there. If you guys followed my channel, I actually started my vlog when I was studying in Melbourne at the end of 2017 and I was there for a 2-year study. Eventually I came back at 2018 and I have to say it was one of the best experiences of my life. Studying abroad is really something you should look forward to and just take the opportunity, you won't regret. Without further ado, I'm going to share some experiences and tips I picked up along the way. Tip number 1 before you go, do not overpack. I know that you're really tempted to bring the whole house in a luggage. Parents especially, they love to cram every possible thing so that the student can save money and not buy it when they're over there and make it convenient. But honestly, you don't need to do that because you can find everything you have over there and sometimes it may even be around the same price or cheaper. Like, funny story, my mom actually made me bring over a rice cooker when I was going over to Melbourne. Legit, a rice cooker, a kettle, cutlery like, spatula, knives. I even brought over pots and a frying pan. Like, my whole luggage was full of all of these things. The most ironic part was when I went over to Australia, right, I could easily find everything at the same price. It makes me think that I totally wasted my luggage space bringing all this stuff when I didn't need to buy extra weight. In short, you don't really need to bring over all these things, you can buy it there. Just have your necessities with you, like clothes and maybe like personal items. That's about it. Please do not bring too many things over and pack. The second thing that I want to share is when you actually arrive, it's going to be a whole new world. You're going to be like a fish out of water. You have to be really independent because you're by yourself. Parents are not with you, you are literally alone in that sense, and it can be quite hard to get used to it, especially when you're not with anyone familiar. Please join a group or society so that you can ground yourself, at least with some community. It's very easy to feel alone and I would say isolated because there's no one to talk to. So join as many clubs and groups as possible. Go for all these student things that happens. They are quite active sometimes and you may find yourself really preoccupied. You won't feel that lonely as much if you're always doing activities. That's my logic. If you have no time, you have no time to think about being lonely. Coming back to the independent word, you have to be really strong-willed and also, I can't think of another word for independent. But yeah, just be independent because things like going to the bank, sorting out your bills, talking to the landlord, and also utilities, Wi-Fi, you have to cover everything yourself. It's easier for you to talk to these people since you're in the same country compared to your parents, and sometimes it's even faster to talk about the issue that they can solve it instantly. I picked up all this adult stuff like dealing with people and it makes me grow into a more mature person, I would say. I know now at least how to handle all these things. Coming to the third tip, please learn how to cook. Actually, this should be a tip before you go over, but it doesn't matter, you can learn on the spot. Depending on your country, food may be really expensive when you're abroad. For the Malaysian currency going over to Australia, man, it was painful to even spend like $5 eating out. And I would try my best always to cook at home, going grocery shopping, buying like the cheapest ingredients ever. Sometimes I even bought like those stuff that are gonna expire because they're like 99 cents. I would just throw all those ingredients in the pot and just cook whatever I can. Actually, I have an example of what you could do. Here is a cookbook that I picked up before I went over. It is a student cookbook, which is really easy for you to follow and one of the most simplest stuff you can make. Honestly, like this might be a lifesaver because we don't have time to cook elaborate meals when you're busy studying and going for activities. Stuff like, sandwiches, easy salads, and of course, every student's favorite meal, pasta. I swear I have made almost every possible combination of pasta when I was there. It's like the easiest food to make. Just throw the pasta in the boiling water and add the sauce in a jar with some meat. It's that simple. I got to a point where I got so sick because I kept eating it, sometimes 4 days in a row. Those were the days. If you're even lazier, I got another book which is the 5 ingredient book. And this one only requires 5 items to cook, such as, maybe a chicken, a vegetable, and like some cooking herbs. That's about it. You want to save cost as much as possible, so I recommend getting those 5 ingredient books. Next up, when you're over there in a foreign land, it's very tempting to stick back to your own people. Like for my case, even though I was in Australia, I constantly surrounded myself with many Malaysians, actually all the time. I was constantly with my own country people. I didn't really want to mix with the local people there. For some reason, I just couldn't connect with them. I made a whole video about it. You can actually click this link to find out what I said. I highly recommend that you do not follow my footsteps and try your best to engage with the local people there, because that's where you learn actually new things. You learn new culture, you learn new habits, or things that only happen in that country. And sometimes it can be quite fun and eye-opening. Another thing I want to connect back to one of my earlier points is when you're actually there as a student, please do not buy a lot of things also. I know most students tend to be hoarders. Yep, they just hoard everything possible. And when you leave the country to go back home, you realize that you have a ton of stuff. It's just chaos and a mess because you didn't realize that you kept everything and adding to your collection, and you realize that, oh my gosh, I need like a truck to move everything. I had the experience of moving twice. Trust me, it was not fun at all. I had like 2 car trips worth of items. I don't know how it accumulated actually. I just keep buying stuff. And most of the things are things I don't even use or need. So if possible, just not buy things if you can, especially if you're only there for an exchange like those 6 months program. It would be better actually if you stay in student accommodations because they provide everything for you. They have all the utensils, they have the appliances, you don't have to buy anything at all. And you save so much money and hassle. Last but not least, this is the most crucial part that I think makes the whole student experience really worth it. Please go out and enjoy yourself. Go out there, be exposed, go and learn everything you can about the new place and just be like a mega tourist, because you may not have the chance to come back again and you will live a life of regret, which I know we don't want that. Join every possible event ever, any exhibitions, any outings, any festivals, and just immerse yourself with the culture, because these are the special moments that you can't get back in your own country. Like take photos, take videos, try to capture every possible little detail, so that when you go back home, you can actually remind yourself, okay, I've been to all these things, I'm good, I don't leave any regrets. And you just kind of feel good about it, that you've done it. You've experienced everything you can from that this place has to offer, and you just take it back home and you learn from it. I've met many friends when I was in Melbourne who are just so sheltered and very lazy. They didn't want to go out, they didn't want to join anything. They're always in their room, either 1, studying, or 2, playing online games. These are the hermits that always stay in their room. And I feel that they may be missing out some stuff in their life, but at the end of the day, it's their choice and it's also your choice too. So yeah, that's the end of my experiences and tips for you guys. I hope you learned something from this and also apply it before you go over or if you're there. And if you like this video, don't forget to give a thumbs up and also subscribe. Not a single day goes by that I actually think back about my time in Melbourne. It's really, I would say, the highlight of my life so far, because I kind of do miss elements from that place that is not available here in Malaysia. So I just kind of constantly reminisce back on those days. If you're about to go off overseas, I wish you guys all the best for your adventure. It's going to be really fun and amazing. You won't regret it. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!